Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. This is where I give you commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Let's talk about tonight. Tonight, from Houston, Texas, excuse me, was Booker T Appreciation Night. And I did not expect for Booker T to be interrupted by Kanu Carver. Of course, thankfully, Jasper Troy came in, but it was a great video tribute from everyone, including Stephanie Vaquero, who did not surprise me, nor did Roxanne surprise me. Another fellow Houston Texan, Shawn Michaels, who's also the head of NXT, showed up in the video package tributing Booker T. It was so great that Booker T was halfway in tears. He didn't break character too much. He didn't break man character too much. But in any event, Booker T was halfway emotional tonight in his tribute. And then Carver ruined everything, and Jasper Troy decided to step up to defend him. It looks like Jasper Troy, one of the many students of Booker T on LFG, is now a babyface, whereas Carver is the heel of the show. And so, gotta see where this goes. I still think Swerve Strickland and Booker T would have been a dream match that will sell at any time. However, this time we got Carver and his issues with Booker. We saw Hank and Tank in action against the Birthright. Of course, the Birthright wins this one. Sorry, Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank paid tribute to Booker T, by the way. Thought that was great. We saw a funny segment between, Thea Hale, who has really had enough of the toxic IWC. If you don't know what IWC stands for, it stands for Internet Wrestling Community. And Thea Hale, if you saw that YouTube video from a couple of days ago, you know she has had it with the toxic IWC. I just try to leave that stuff alone. And of course, if you're not careful, you'll let the IWC get you so toxic that you'll have to apologize, much like Ricochet recently had to do for mocking someone who had a certain disease. We also saw tonight, which I kind of saw coming, Ricky Saints and Ethan Page arguing only to turn against against Joe Hendry. And of course, Tony D'Angelo came in the same state where he defeated Tommaso Ciampa. Of course, that was in Dallas, but it was a different Tony D'Angelo at the time. But this Tony D'Angelo is different. More vigilante-like, more of a Sting 1997 copycat-like. But in any event, without face paint, that is, Joe Hendry wants Tony D'Angelo, and I see this going one or two ways. I think it's either going to be Joe Hendry versus Tony at Stand and Deliver, which, by the way, is a happy day for me because I found out that it's going to be live on YouTube, which is going to be a very happy day because I don't have to wait for it to hit Daily Motion or Toki Video or wherever other site those pay-per-views hit. Moving forward, either it's going to be Tony versus Joe Hendry or we're going to get a Fatal 4-Way match. I think while the 101 match with Joe and Tony will really sell and hit, that Fatal 4-Way match is where I believe WWE is going. And in that, I will predict between Tony and Joe Hendry, mostly Joe Hendry to retain. But anything can happen. Tonight, we saw the steel cage match between Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley, which was a pretty nice match. I did not know Tatum was from Texas. If I did, I forgot. But it was still a pretty nice cage match in which Tatum Paxley won. Izzy Dame's outfit paid tribute to D-Generation X. And no, I wasn't staring with lost people. I'm just saying they had it out there, so she had on the back of her trunk "Stick It," which is tribute to D-Generation X and Shawn Michaels. But it was a pretty nice steel cage match, and Izzy lost. Tatum Paxley won in her home state of Texas. Wasn't expecting Blake Monroe to appear like a pretty horror star. I can't think of a movie. I don't think there's ever been in a movie where an attractive person was the main horror character. I don't think that's ever happened. And I'm not a horror movie person unless I'm watching the Poltergeist series where The Undertaker guest starred in 1999. But in any event, that's never happened before, but interesting in very odd way to end NXT. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about tonight's episode of NXT? I'm your host, Dan Cody. That's all the time I have for you today. And I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. And watch your step, because Blake Monroe has a drop to hell, apparently. So watch your step, folks, and have a safe week. See you next time.